What is up, guys? Sawcasm here, and today I have for you guys an M4A1 MOAB playing some domination on the map interchange. This is definitely not a playstyle that you haven't seen before. It's pretty much the standard, CB capture and then the A spawn trap where the whole team pretty much just sits back, leaves the enemy team at A, and waits for them to come out of the spawn and just rack up the kills. So, it's pretty standard strategy, I guess you could say. Of course, the spawns do flip a couple of times by mistake, but what are you gonna do? It's not perfect, we're not perfect players. It's not a perfect spawn trap, so we did make a couple of mistakes. I think we were a little bit too aggressive. Like, I probably ran in there a little bit too far a couple times just because sometimes this spawn trap, while it's extremely effective, I don't know, for me sometimes it's just so boring to play like this that I actually flip the spawns on purpose, and it sounds extremely stupid that you want to do something like ineffective in terms of the game, but I don't know, just sitting back sometimes just isn't my style. But a lot of times I just like to do it just because it is a strong way to play and a strong way to win the game, even though it's, I don't know, somewhat cheap, I guess you could say, but it's in the game. Gotta deal with it just like anything else. So yeah, today what I kind of want to talk about is something that people tend to ask me frequently. They say that they can build up a streak, but once they get up into the higher kill streaks, like on specialists when going for MOABs, like when they get on a I don't know, like 20 plus, when they get on 20 kills or more, let's just say, that they tend to get nervous, they tend to start shaking, and throws off the game. And I definitely know how this feels. When you start off playing using specialists, you always get this feeling. Like, I remember when I started, I used to get this feeling at like 16 kills. I was like, oh, I'm so close to the MOAB. I'm so close right now. And then I would check the score, and I'm like, 16-0. What? Is the scoreboard broken or something? But no. This is a feeling like, you get that like adrenaline rush almost that kind of just makes you nervous. I don't know why it is, but it happens to some people. I don't know if, everyone experiences it, but I definitely did. So, first off, let me just tell you that it definitely, improves through experience and practice. The more you go on these higher streaks, the more comfortable you'll feel. So, basically, the number one thing I could tell you about this is just keep using specialists, keep going for MOABs, and eventually, you'll still have this feeling, just to a much lesser extent, even to a point where it, doesn't really mess up your game at all. So that's pretty much the goal. That's pretty much the point that you want to get at. So, I'm pretty much at that point now. If I'm on a streak, it doesn't really affect me at all because I use specialists so much. I mean, it's pretty much all I use in the game now. So yeah, and another thing I can tell you is that when you are getting closer to the streak, you might want to stay a little bit closer to your teammates. I know that I always say, you want to be a lone wolf, you want to separate from your team when you're on a specialist bonus, but when you are kind of, you're on that streak, you're getting closer to the MOAB, and you might be in a little bit of a dangerous situation, moving towards your team is definitely the way to go. This way you can move with them. Maybe you could, team shoot a couple of people, and you could pick up a couple of assists that would be, relatively safe, and now these assists would, with hardline, count towards kill and count towards your MOAB streak, unless they change that. Actually, someone told me that they changed it so that the hardline kills don't count towards the MOAB streak anymore. I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but yeah, if it's not, which I don't see why they would change that because it's been in the game and it hasn't really created any problems for me or for any people. I don't think so, but I don't know. Maybe they did add it. Who knows? So, you rack up a couple of assists. Like right there, I just picked up the assist. No big deal. Counts as a kill. So then I come over here. I'm moving with my team right now because it's safer, much less risk, and much greater chance that I'm actually gonna get the MOAB. Unless you're in the enemy spawn by yourself and you already feel super comfortable, then go ahead, keep doing your thing. But if you are struggling, win on a streak, and you're actually getting close to MOAB, just do what I do, move towards your team. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed. If you hated this video, be sure to dislike it, leave some hateful comments, and I'll subscribe. Thanks for watching.